Okay, I will be the first to tell you. It's Friday.
It is Friday.
TGIF. Good morning. I'm Rayford Brown.
I'm Kelly Knapp.
And Lee is up there in the hills of North Carolina where the rain is a coming and is a coming down according to the radar that I had up there a minute ago. So we're lucky here in the coast of North Carolina and pretty much all of North Carolina. There are lots of local folks following the late last night, about 11 o'clock or so, when Hurricane Helene made actual landfall in not in Tampa, but in the panhandle of Florida. The storm effects were felt long ways from there, though. It was all over everywhere. Surprised me this morning when I saw that when it made landfall, it had 140 mile per hour sustained winds.
Yes.
That's a big one.
It's a huge
storm surge. Well, it was dark. All the lights went out.
Yep.
I don't know. I think they said millions of people in Florida and probably Georgia too were without power.
Yeah.
Lots of people did not have power.
Yeah. So, still don't. I saw those.
But first of all, I'll remind you, power crews, as great as they are, and I'll tell you what, those are some hardworking, unrecognized heroes every time a storm goes by. Because they get out there, but they're not allowed, not by unions, but common sense and rules, regulations, to get out there when the winds are still blowing.
But not only that, some places so flooded they can't get to them anyway.
They can't get to them very well.
Yeah.
So, but they will get the power restored. I've been listening up until 2 o'clock this morning, and then again from about 5:40 this morning until just a couple of minutes ago to the amateur radio Hurricane Watch, which has got its headquarters at the National Hurricane Center in Miami. It's got a station there, but there are volunteers all over the country that work, and they work as relay and control operators. And I was hearing reports from all over Florida last night and this morning, and up into Georgia. The last one I heard was out of Valdosta, where the storm was at the time. So anyway, I guess we go get started early this morning with calls. Good morning. How are you?
Hey, good morning. It's Charlie.
Hey, Charlie. Boy, you were up way too early. Go to bed.
Early bird gets the worm. What are you talking about?
I don't want worms.
Yeah.
So you guys know how I call Monday through Thursday, politics, this, that, which is like this, that, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's have Friday just like a casual Charlie Friday. Just no politics. Can I just be like the third wheel? Just like sit back, listen, maybe.
So this will be this is going to be CC time, right? Casual Charlie.
Yeah. I'm just like listen to you guys. Just like be pleasant. No politics. No bipartisan.
We'll kind of do our best to do that. Of course, there are going to be callers, and unfortunately, if we do get some callers, Charlie, I think I've got your number on our caller ID there, right? We don't.
Comes up as private.
Okay.
Well,
he has a secret number.
Sit back and just like occasionally add an opinion.
Well, you wouldn't be able to stay the whole time because we can't get the call.
Yeah, I can't get a call if you're on the line.
Yeah.
So here's what I'm going to do.
You can
if it's okay with you. If you can send me, since you can do it on Facebook, if you'll send us a private message on Facebook with your telephone number, I can call you from my other computer over here and just keep you on the line the whole time. It's kind of like we do when I'm out of town or one of us is out of town. We have a back door to get in. But if you would like to do that, go ahead and send me a private message, and I'll be happy to call you up and keep you listening the whole time.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I just think it's on Fridays. It's like no Charlie drama, just like Charlie, just being normal.
Charlie, I didn't know you had
drama. I didn't think you had drama. You don't come across that way to me.
Yeah, sometimes you make a whole lot of common sense, and that's sometimes is unusual in this day and time,
for
as
you
people, and I know.
Yeah.
But anyway,
so I'll figure out what you guys said. Maybe I'll call back in a little bit. But when it comes to Fridays, I'm not going to create any controversy.
Okay.
When it comes to Fridays, it's like, hey, go have an ice cream sandwich with your grandchildren at the local, mall, or just have a nice day. Enjoy your lives. Enjoy your loved ones.
I haven't had an ice cream sandwich in a long time. I would like to have one. I used to get that in school, way back when they were a nickel a piece.
You know what?
What's that?
I'm a little older, and I've noticed that I have, when it comes to dairy, the digestive thing. I know what's going on inside my gut. So yeah,
Well,
anyway, I'm not sure.
I'm older too, but that doesn't bother me.
Well, you've got a strong gut. You're a strong gutter than me. And don't me.
Because I spent a lot of time in the gutter, I guess.
All right, guys, I'm gonna take off. Have a good day.
Thank you, Charlie. The morning after, that's what it is right now. Hurricane Helene, a Category 4 hurricane at the time that it hit the Panhandle. Wow, just a few hours ago, a little after 11 o'clock, top wind speeds at that landfall were 140 miles per hour. The sustained winds, gusts were higher, don't know what they were. Heavy storm surge, front location suffering, imagine varying amounts of damage. 2 deaths reported when a probable tornado hit a mobile home in Georgia. 1 person was killed in a crash on Interstate 4 in the Tampa area. A highway sign fell on top of a car. I mean, what are the odds? Another reason when we've got storms, when we've got things like stay home. If you're not in another secure area and you're at home, stay there. Out on the highways, it is not good. Things can happen, and it's just not good.
Mm-hmm.
What is now Tropical Storm Helene, winds of about 70 miles per hour, moving through the western part of Georgia, central western part of Georgia, greatly diminished winds. Last I heard this morning, they were about 70 miles per hour near the center. The rains are continuing. The remaining elements of that powerful storm moving towards the western parts of both Carolinas, promising flooding from heavy rains. In Tennessee, Helene is expected to continue losing strength and will likely begin to waver in its forward motion. There are indications right now it might even stall out for a bit as nothing but a rain event in sort of the central part of Tennessee.
Well, that's not good.
No, it's still got water in it. It needs to go somewhere and dump it.
Mhm.
Maybe the Great Lakes. Are there any areas to the west that are drought areas? If it is, go that way.
Maybe Oklahoma. They're usually droughty. Yeah.
Back here in North Carolina, heavy surf conditions along much of the coastline. We know that rip currents are a certainty. Water may be standing on some roads, especially in low-lying areas. Do not drive through any flooded roads. Turn around, don't drown. Last sample that we had, 2 weeks ago, had a guy there down in Brunswick County area. Yeah, he went around a roadblock. Deputies had roadblocks set up where a road had flooded over, and he went around it and got swept away. And they tried to get him, but they couldn't. He's 90
It was
years
like
old.
80,
Yeah.
80 or 82. Or very sad.
It's up there, and and he and they found him the next day when they could get rescue teams in there. At that point in time, they hope that the car's afloat or that he's managed to find some place to hang on, but that was not the case. He was dead. So, if you encounter any such conditions, just don't do that. We talk about it enough. Every station talks about it enough. All night long on the network, the Hurricane Watch networks I'm listening to, and that's one of the warnings they were given, even to the other ham radio guys. Are what they call weather spotters out there too,
Yeah,
and they're
yeah.
trained for that kind of stuff. And they've all got weather equipment at home, so they were taking information from all over the southeast, down in Florida and Georgia, particularly at that time, moving on up now, taking that information and using it for the National Weather Service, so the Weather Service can actually track it. Because the Weather Service does not have that many weather stations of
Yeah, I
its
know.
own. These are volunteers, and they're providing it. We've got one right here that if it comes through here, we'll be providing the same information. So
Well, Buncombe County's already reporting flooding.
Yep.
Big shot. That's where Asheville and like Old Fort.
Yep.
and places like
neck of the
that,
woods, and I'd wonder if the Lee's up yet. Oh, you know what? My camera's going live. What happened? You can't do anything with it. I'll have to get up and fix it in a second or two. Well, I was better wide angle. Can't see any of the wrinkles or nearly as many.
Yeah, I don't know why. That's your department there.
Yeah,
I just have it up
I
and
should have it up sometime before we were on the air, I guess.
It's got a mind of its own, right?
It does. It's an electronic device. It's known as Fred.
Yep.
We so much going on, and trying not to spend a lot of time on politics, but it is what it is. We got about 40 days, 41, 42 days until the general
Mhm.
election this year. It's a
Yeah.
contentious election. I'm sure if I went back in time, dusted off the cobwebs off the ring,
Hmm.
I might remember something as bad as this one, but I don't know that I will.
I mean, I would say the 2016 election, some things, but not
yeah.
with the not. This is definitely
Sort of
the
had the same
top
elements.
of the charts of nonsense. Yeah.
We had one untried individual in politics, never even tried politics
Don't
before.
even. Yeah.
And then we had
Somebody that should have been tried, but for whole different reasons.
yeah, she should have been tried.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I agree with that.
But I just had no time for her. Still
No,
don't.
no. She still reared her head up. She did like a week ago. Or
Yeah,
so.
it
Yeah.
still looks about just a little bit worse.
She just won't go away.
Kind of like one of the bad pennies,
Hmm.
or kind of like the stuff you find when you walk through a cow pasture. You step in it and slip sliding. Okay.
That would be true, but
Okay, so before we get into any of the other serious stuff here this morning, we'll keep you up to date as soon as the sun is coming up. It comes up on the west coast of Florida a little bit later than it does here
mhm.
because it's further west than we are. I lived there in Sarasota for a while, so I was always, it's about 15, 20 minutes difference.
Mhm.
We're remodeling. That means hired somebody to remodel the house while we look at them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we're looking at them.
While Dick barks at him.
And Dave barks at them.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I know he barks at him.
he
He
barks
barks
at
at
everything.
everything. Yes.
And it's weird. We've
Poor
been,
Dave.
been doing that. And,
Uh-huh.
I have to do, when it comes to some wiring things
Mhm.
here and there, I do that.
Yeah.
That's not a problem. But yesterday I told Robbie, as it was getting time on to figure out something to eat, I'm tired of looking through the freezer at this time of day and figuring out what I should eat, 'cause I like planning.
Yeah.
There's not many things that I plan for, believe it or not. Food is one of
Food is one of them. Yes.
because it has to be. If it's in the freezer, I gotta thaw it. If I don't have everything that I need, I gotta get it. Things like that.
Yeah.
Come up with something. I don't like complicated meals. Don't get me
Mhm.
wrong. If I'm gonna do a complicated meal, it's gonna be on Saturday when I got all day to do it,
Hmm.
like Kong Jack.
Yeah.
But because that's a day process. But I wanted something more involved. That
Mhm.
means more heavier
Mhm.
than what we've been eating for the last week or so. I love salads, and when I can take a salad, Robbie makes a great salad. I do shrimp.
You do shrimp salad?
I do shrimp to go with your salad.
Gotcha.
Or on it or on the side.
Okay, that's what I
However
was
you want
wondering.
it, it's
Okay.
up to you.
Right. Okay.
And I do it special. And this, I tried a new recipe that I dreamed of, I think,
Okay.
the other day. And oh my God.
So it was good.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, I could do
Mhm.
5 pounds of that shrimp with nothing else.
Always a good thing.
Yeah, it is. And I got 2 shrimp left in the refrigerator that I'm savoring. But anyway, yesterday I said, I got this desire for meat and potatoes. I don't want anything else. I don't want any food. I don't want any salad. I got salad. I got enough greenery. Now it's
Mhm.
time to eat some meat. And I didn't want to go cook it. If I was going to go cook it, I'd have to look for something.
So where did you go?
I did I'm not going to tell you exactly because I don't have nice things to say about it.
Oh,
Someplace that I've been before,
okay.
I pick it up and bring it home.
Mhm.
Right. So I go, place the order. My God, it smells so good.
Hmm.
Steak, 2 baked potatoes because I get one and I keep it and I do other things with it later on.
Okay.
The steak, Bobby got salmon, so she was good to go.
Hmm.
And she enjoyed hers
Hmm.
and her sweet potato and her whatever else we got her,
Hmm.
some kind of greenery. But mine, I cut into it and I said, God, it's not tough, but it's got all these strands. It felt like all
I
these little,
hate that. Okay.
I had to go get another knife, the
Mhm.
kind that I use to cut stuff with, not a steak knife. My steak knives, I was having to chop my way through it.
Oh no.
Okay, so when I got chopped through a piece of it, and then I started chewing,
Hmm. And chew for 30 minutes to get what he swallowed.
About 3 minutes, I said, you know,
Oh,
I
heck
I've
no.
still I got to swallow this mess.
Mhm.
And then it got kind of clogged. But anyway, it went on down.
That's not good.
Well, I know, but I got that GERD thing.
Hmm.
So anyway, I chewed and I tried several more, cut them in very tiny pieces, felt like a little baby.
Hmm.
And I said, you know what? I can't do this.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I just can't do it. And it wasn't a cheap piece of meat. It's $31 for the meat.
Oh my.
For 8 ounces.
Uh-huh.
So ribeye. You can't go wrong with a decent ribeye.
No,
The
never.
problem is these guys apparently they're not going up their prices at the restaurant so much. They're
They're
cutting back on the quality of the
they're just trying
product
to
they're
keep meat.
buying.
Oh, wow.
I really kept thinking, what horse farm did this come from?
Oh, that's not good.
That's what I thought. So I go in, I fix a pot of gravy,
Hmm.
I put the meat in there. I like my steaks rare.
I know you do. I've seen you eat steak, and it's gross as man.
Well, it's all right. Just generally, it's flavorful. And this one had flavor to it, because they added a lot of seasoning.
Hmm.
But I put it in a pot of gravy and let it boil for a little bit, and I could cut it, and I could get about half of that steak down. The rest of it, I will chop it up and put it in a pot and make a little bit of soup with it. $31 steak will become soup.
We're going to talk about this one off the air. I want to find out where you went.
Yeah,
I know not to go.
right
That's why I'm asking.
far from you. The only steak that I will go eat
Where you
again
at?
at a restaurant is
Uh-huh.
going to be in a place called Swansboro, Friendly City by the Sea.
Yeah. I knew you didn't go there.
No, I wanted to bring it home because
Yeah.
we had, it's
I
like,
know where you
I was
went.
slumped and
Okay.
everything. No, there are 3 different places there that I go to,
Hmm.
used to. Should have gone to the first one,
Hmm.
but I wanted to go back to this one because
Mhm.
it had, well, anyway, it's been a while since I've been.
Yeah.
Whatever. Won't do it again. That's it.
I don't blame you.
Nah,
That just sounds gross.
I got that on the list,
Uh-huh.
and it's that list.
Hmm. I know the list you're talking
I
about.
won't call you the name. I won't call that name. But
No, I know what
we
it
can't
is.
get banned, but we can be polite to y'all.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, I just why?
Hmm. Because it's,
I'd rather pay more for food than to get crap.
hmm I used to say I want it to melt in my mouth. That's
Absolutely.
the kind I want.
I like it when I can cut it with a fork, basically.
Yes,
And
yes.
I had steaks so you can
Same.
almost cut it with a fork,
Yes.
and all that gristle
Nobody wants
is
gristle.
trimmed off.
Yeah. That's gross.
Down in the borough,
Mhm.
I had no clue when I started going there years ago.
How amazing it was.
I know about steak. I didn't go there
Yeah.
for steak. I
Mhm.
went there for seafood. I mean,
Yeah.
this is on the water. I'm sitting out here over the water. And then Randy, the owner,
Uh-huh.
he said, "Have you ever tried my cast iron steak?" And I said, "No, I don't come here for that. I can get that at home."
Hmm.
"No, you can't." I said, "Oh, that's again." "No, you can't.
Hmm.
Try it." And I did. And yeah, hot dang, you better believe it.
You got me eating that steak from there.
And
yeah.
there's sometimes when we go, I'll order the steak.
Hmm.
Robbie will order the steak because we both like it rare.
Hmm.
When it comes, we cut it in half, and I've ordered like scallops and some other stuff,
I've seen that too. Yes.
and then we split all.
Mhm. The
We
steak
take-
there is amazing.
Oh, it is flat amazing.
Yeah.
So anyway, just
Oh,
to say, guys,
I'm supposed to
don't
be
waste
eating
your
it. It's so
time.
good.
It's 17 miles from my house to that house to that house.
Yeah.
I will go there from now on.
But yeah, Swansboro's not a far drive.
It's not far from
No.
here.
That restaurant is amazing. The food is good. Everything there is good.
All of it. But anyway, well,
He's a good cook.
Yeah, he is.
Mhm.
He's talked to people there very well too.
Yes.
And that was not a commercial or a plug.
No,
It's
that's
just it's just a fact.
We like their steak. It is amazing.
We want to tell
Yeah.
y'all places that are really good. Now, if somebody
Yeah.
else has got a great steak place to
Mhm.
let me know about, you let me know about it. Otherwise,
It's Tim. Hey, Tim. Oh, wait, hold on. There's Tim.
all right, took 3 strikes, but I got you. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Internet stays messed up down here this morning, so I can't. It comes in and out today.
Where you at?
Okay.
Where are you?
I'm down here in Wilmington, close to the port.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
It
Okay.
cuts out. It doesn't cut out much here. Up 17 after you get out of Hampstead, between there and let's say Verona. Sometimes it'll cut in and out, but it's all right. I mean, it's a big deal. When we get things improved, everything will be fine.
Well, I think it'll cut out as the day goes more and more.
I agree with you, but I know some things are going on or happening, and I won't say nothing, but it's gonna get better.
Yeah.
But what I was calling about, I did get some of Steve yesterday,
Okay.
and he was just talking, and he finally, I guess the libertarian number 2 finally got it. That Congress actually controls the country.
Yes.
And the president's powers are limited, but does have executive orders. And I'm not for all that, because Biden did 22. And he was, people were talking about the price of groceries right on. We've been talking about it ever since groceries went up. And so I just don't know why this goes up. And we've talked about it on this show, so I can say it one more time. And it's one word, 3 little letters, called oil.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, that's it.
Yeah.
And when you get somebody, and like we said it before, when Biden shut the pipeline down, excuse me, when he shut the pipeline, we're still getting the oil. And somebody is getting railed in, and it costs a whole lot more.
Yes.
Well, then he wanted to start we want importing oil, and he we're going to start importing oil.
And where did he
So
import it
well,
from?
From Russia, and it doesn't matter if he got it from Russia, from Russia, Saudi Arabia, wherever he got it from. We had to go back into the OPEC range,
Mm-hmm.
and we go into OPEC range when we exported. But at the time, we didn't have to do it when we were using our own oil. and I've asked gasoline gas station attendants a long time ago. How does that work? How do you know when to change the price of your gasoline?
The guy across the street does.
Well, yeah. And he said, well, when the truck comes in here and dumps our gas that we ordered, they'll tell us, the company will tell us, next load of gasoline you get is going to cost you this amount. So you go ahead that day and you go ahead and raise the price of gasoline to what it's going to be the next time you get it.
So for a few days, you're making extra profit.
Yes. So they can pay, they claim they can pay for that gasoline, the next batch coming in. So, and then when they come in and call, well, the next load you get is going to be cheaper. Well, they'll keep that price until it does come in. Because that, again, extra profit. But I'm just glad that you got to understand, no one person can do it all, but them executive orders can really hurt. And you got to understand everything is on, you're sitting on oil. Some of your floors is made out of oil. There's oil in concrete. There's oil in everything. You're not going to cut it out. Your demand is going to get bigger and bigger. And even with your electric cars, you're going to have oil in some spots to make electricity.
Well, they're going to drive on highways that are paved with asphalt. Well, guess where that comes from?
Mm-hmm.
And here's one of the things that all you EV guys out there, you're plotting, you're planning, and you're saving your dollars and your pennies to go buy one. It's okay, but you know what's going to happen? Here's the way North Carolina and other states, many other states, pay for the roads and maintenance on our highways. Okay.
Yeah.
They charge you that tax on the gasoline. Part of that tax in North Carolina that's on the gasoline goes to the Department of Motor Vehicles, Department of Transportation, to take care of the highways.
Well, they don't take care of them, but I hear you.
But it does. That's how they, when
Well,
you
yeah.
see the DOT crews out there working, maintaining, filling potholes, or doing whatever, they're paying for that with gasoline tax. Now, when the EVs, if the EVs, according to Biden, were to outnumber the gasoline-powered vehicles, well, wait a minute, they're still driving on those same roads, and they're causing the same amount of wear and tear on those roads as the cars running on ethanol.
How you going to pay for it?
Well, what they're going to do is your odometer's going to start paying for it. They're going to charge you.
You're right.
Every year when it comes around to your, you got to get that thing inspected. When you got to get
Yeah.
it inspected because you can't get a tag renewed unless you got it inspected.
Do they inspect EV cars?
They will have to. Yes.
They don't
Yeah.
now, right?
I don't know. I'm sure they do
I
to
need
a
to
certain
know.
You
extent.
got to inspect tire wear. You got
Okay,
to
good
inspect
point.
Yeah.
engine. You got
Electrical
you
stuff,
do. And the thing,
brakes.
Yeah.
But
and
when
they
they
go
do,
charge them by the mile.
they're going to charge you by the mile. You drove that's 28,000 miles times. There goes your savings on your gasoline, y'all.
Gonna get paid that. In North Carolina, you're gonna pay that when you buy your tag.
Oh yeah, well you have to.
Yeah, I've already talked to some Congress people. Yeah, that's the way they're gonna do it. Pay taxes. We pay car taxes when we get our. They're going
That's property tax on your car, yeah.
Yeah. Well, they're gonna go right in there because your mileage is gonna be wrote down.
That,
Go right in there. Well, they're gonna charge you this too.
Yeah.
So you got to pay to play.
You're gonna
I
get
don't
it.
care what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
don't-
mean, the only one that don't have it, if you drive a bicycle year-round,
Which
you take that on that.
I'm glad you brought that up because I got a gripe about that. We the gasoline people who use gasoline, our taxes that we pay to gasoline, they use it to pave bike trails.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Now, how much does a bicyclist pay for that privilege? I got to pay to drive on the highway. Why do I have to pay for him to drive his bicycle on the road? Oh, I just made a lot of
got
friends.
paved hiking trails. You're gonna pay for that too.
I just made a lot of friends.
If asphalt is laid on the ground, we're gonna pay for it. Don't care what you do and how you. And I know Steve is listening. We don't know what. I know exactly. I've been in it for 39 years, and I see it. And I know how it works because before NAFTA came along, not NAFTA, I'm sorry, before IFTA came along, if you were over the road truck driver, you had to stop in every state and get fuel. So that each state got a piece of your ass.
Yep.
It don't matter if you needed fuel or not. You had to stop somewhere because you had to have a receipt to show for it. Well, if the stickers came out, so everybody gets a piece of the pie now, we don't have to stop it every day.
Mm-hmm.
Which it was convenient for us. Because you would go down the road and you would see a guy, he'd have 4 or 5 stickers on his truck. North Carolina, Georgia, Virginia, or Tennessee, whatever, Wyoming. He'd have these stickers on his truck. And he had to send tax. If he was owner operator, he had to keep up with every mile he did in that particular state, and he had to send in the tax money. His accountant would have to do the tax money to send it in.
Now let me do this for you. I'm gonna ask you a question. When you're a big old truck driver, not you a big old, but you drive a big old truck. When you're out there on the highway and you got your diesel powered up there and you're running on an interstate and you're running, okay, let's say you're running 70. It's supposed to speed limit. You're running 70.
Yeah.
You're getting a certain amount of gas mileage, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
every time you pull off the highway at on an interstate, you take the time, you downshift about 17 down to nothing, and you pull into a fuel depot and you take the time to fuel up. And then do you leave your truck running during that time when you're fueling?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I
So you're leaving your truck running, then you get out on the highway. Now the mileage that you get on your diesel at 70 miles an hour on the open highway, I don't know what it is. What is it generally?
And my average on this Mac, the computer says 6.2. I think that's a little high, but most averages on most, especially the older trucks, about 5 miles to the gallon.
Okay, so you're getting 5 miles to the gallon on the highway. What do you get when you pull over and you're slowing down, and then you have to take off? You have to rev that sucker up to get back up to 60 miles an hour, right?
Yeah.
What do you? How many gallons per mile does it take you to do that? Not miles per gallon. How many gallons per mile?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't. I really had never sat down and tried to figure that out. I mean, this was got an onboard computer.
Yeah.
I can flip it to that, and it'll tell me. And every time I shift gears, what I'm getting.
Yep.
You understand?
Then it gives you an average. Yeah. But I mean, people
Yes,
people with cars, they know exactly what I'm talking about because if you
Yeah.
flip your little computer over there and the cars, the newer cars, you will see, yeah, when I have to slow down, then I have to take off. I was doing 22 miles per gallon. Now I'm doing 4 for a little while.
Right. Well,
So now you're
that's
burning
why
more
you-
fuel, and all that black smoke is coming out too when it's running that inefficiently, right?
yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean,
Okay,
you're
yeah.
burning more fuel.
So
The
every
thing about it is, yeah. No, it's
every
just
time
like
you
what
stop.
were just saying about the car. Yeah.
So every
Stop,
time you
that's
start.
I mean, I can tell you this: you get a city, and when you buy your vehicle, if you go out and buy a new vehicle, you see it has highway miles and city miles.
Yep.
Does it not?
It does.
All right. The city miles means you're in the city starting and stopping,
Yep.
and it's always lower than the highway miles. Always. I mean, you got ones that I get 22 miles on the open highway and I only get 16 in the city. Well, yeah, it's because you're starting and stopping.
Mhm.
And when you get an even, it's just like I tried to do 60 miles an hour average on the interstate.
Yeah.
I couldn't, not all the time, because of what you just said, starting and stopping, and people pulling in front of you, and you slowing down and having to speed back up, and adverse conditions, rain, sleet, snow, what have you.
The mountains.
You tried to keep it. Yeah, the mountains, especially the mountains.
Mhm.
Tried to keep 60 mile an hour average. And just like I told when I worked at Estes, if I could keep a 60 mile an hour average, and you could do it at night on 995 most of the time, you didn't have a problem. And I was trying, and I figured up, because I got paid by the mile, as long as I was running, I was getting $26 an hour. But when I stopped, I was getting nothing.
Hmm.
Because they paid me by the mile. That was my average at a 60 mile an hour average. And I had to run 72 to 75 to keep it
Mm-hmm.
because of slowing down. But I just wanted to, this does run the country. And orders that sometimes presidents do can really mess up, because every action causes a reaction.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to have the diesel fuel has to bring the chicken feed to the chicken so they can lay their eggs. The eggs have to be hauled out in a truck. They have to be carried to the manufacturing place to be checked and quality controlled and boxed up. Y'all got to understand, everything Run does that happens is on oil.
Yeah.
There's even oil in them electric cars.
It's called lubrication.
It's made with oil.
It's
Yeah.
lubrication. The tires are made with oil and all sorts of
Yeah.
good stuff. Yeah.
Oil and lipstick, makeup, it's there. So this, we're going to get done with oil. You're not going to until we find a way to live without oil. You're not going to.
Well,
And that's why I keep preaching.
the whole world will have to change. And
Yeah, the whole world's going to have to change, and we can't do it. Not all of a sudden overnight. And
No.
that's why they were proposing, by 2030, where everything's going to have to be electric, and
Mhm.
it ain't going to happen.
well, I think the first thing that ought to be electric, if it's going to be a directive, one of those directives from the president, I think the first thing that needs to be all electric is Air Force One. Second thing
Yeah.
needs to be the Beast. The Beast
Yeah.
being the big limo,
Yeah,
the one that
that's
gets
it.
2 miles per gallon or whatever
Mhm.
because of all the armor plating. Yep, those are the first things that need to be all electric.
Yeah,
I don't
you're
think
right.
I'm going to fly in it. I hope not. Well, I wouldn't fly in Air Force One anyway. They won't let me.
And I darn sure don't want an electric boat, not with a battery underneath submerged, in case
Oh.
you get a leak.
Oh, well, those lithium batteries, and they've been mounting those for a while now. And some of the people are putting them in. They're lighter, and they're using them for their trolling motors, and they're very light.
Yeah.
What I spend for a battery for my boat, I've got 4 batteries in it, but it's about $125 is what I spend for each
You're
one of
right.
those batteries. The lithium equivalent is $800.
Yeah.
Oh, it'll last you longer. Yeah. Uh-huh. Hold on to your hat for that one. Don't get any
Well,
salt water on it.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. But now I want to do a rant, right? It's Friday.
It is.
And Kelly, I am so glad you're back. Sugar, I meant to tell you that the other day when I was up there.
Well,
You're looking
thank you.
good, girl.
Thank
Keep it up.
you. Thank you.
She's in the pink of things.
I'm wearing my Boston
good.
Tea Party shirt. You haven't even said anything about it, Rayford.
Oh, I have not.
Tea should
Yeah,
be
I
served
hadn't
one
seen it
of
yet.
two ways, sweet or on the Boston Harbor. Oh, okay.
There you go.
Yeah. Yep.
I like
I got
that.
the sweet tea part. I didn't go to the Boston Harbor to drink it.
Well, because it was
Yeah.
dumped in the Boston Harbor.
I understand.
Yeah, because
But-
trying to get rid of British rule.
Well, the number one sign that St. Diane makes sell, and people call her, is sweet tea and Jesus.
Oh, wow.
She probably makes more sweet tea and Jesus. I mean, hers is hand done. She doesn't have a stencil machine. It's all hand done, and she gets more of that, and she has a fall sign that's reversible. It's for fall and winter, and that's a very popular. But the sweet tea and Jesus sign really,
No.
that's number one sign.
I could give her some stuff if she wants to put them on some of our t-shirts.
I've got some to do for me, but that'll be yeah.
I'll give you
I'll
her
call
number.
it. Yeah.
I need one for election day.
Oh, Lord. Scared.
I voted. Fact check that.
I like
Yeah,
that. I like
okay.
that.
I'm stealing that
Thank
from Robin. Modified it, but stealing it.
All right. Well, I'm gonna get out of
All
here.
right, y'all be
The wind's
good.
blowing hard down here. We'll see y'all.
Okay.
Have a good
You too.
weekend.
Take care.
You too.
All right.
Ain't
Bye.
no wind blowing around here at all. We're far enough away from the coast right now.
Yeah.
The Wild and Woolly Marine Forecast brought to you by Community Prevention Services of Jacksonville. You've no doubt seen the colorful and well-lit stores featuring vaping products around here. Maybe you aren't aware, but did you know that North Carolina is number 2 in the nation for teen vape use? Oh, really? Parents and caregivers, if you want to learn more about vaping, the inherent dangers for teenagers who vape, and how to help keep teens from partaking, there is some help out there. Contact Community Prevention Services at 910-353-0972. Located in Jacksonville, locally owned and operated, meaning you don't have to drive all over the state for help. Perhaps you want to learn what all the hype's about. Is vaping actually dangerous? Is it worse than cigarettes? Is this just a sneaky way for some people to smoke weed? Is your teen telling you that there's nothing wrong with it, that it's safer than smoking, that the product is nothing more than steam? I've heard that one. If you don't know any better, it's time to get yourself educated. Community Prevention Services offers free information on all substance misuse prevention issues for youth and adults. Give them a call today. Don't wait any longer. 910-353-0972. Community Prevention Services, located at 918 Henderson Drive in Jacksonville. The number again, 910-353-0972. Offshore today.
Don't go
Just
offshore.
Take our
Yeah.
word for it. Don't go out there to verify.
Go to the mall. Like,
There you go.
yeah, go shopping.
Small craft advisory is in effect through Saturday morning. The ocean is not a place you want to be. Southerly winds 20 to 25 knots with gusts up to 35 knots. That's about 40 miles per hour. Seas 8 to 11 feet. Near shore seas 5 to 8, building to 8 to 9 this afternoon. 10-foot waves from the south every 8 seconds. Sounds and rivers are rough. Tomorrow, southwesterly winds only around 10 knots. Seas coming down 4 to 6 feet. Give it an extra. Rivers a light chop. Sunday, your best bet for a good day. The calm after the storm. Westerly winds only around 5 knots, becoming southerly in the afternoon. Some sweet tea to go with that. Seas 2 to 4 feet. Sounds and rivers flat, increasing to a light chop in the afternoon.
Today, showers and thunderstorms with a high of 85. Breezy, I love that word, with south winds 14 to 20 miles an hour. That's a little more than breezy, but okay. And gusts as high as 31 miles an hour today. So if you've got like bird feeders or like wind chimes, you might want to take them down. Tonight, mostly cloudy and then becoming clear later, as late as it gets, with a low of 71. Tomorrow, sunny, high of 87. Tomorrow night, clear, low of 67. And on Sunday, mostly sunny, a high of 85. Not bad.
All right, this comes from the North Carolina Board of Elections. Got it yesterday afternoon. from the start of 2023 through August of 2024, county boards of elections in North Carolina removed more than 750,000 ineligible registration records from the state's voter rolls. 750,000, 750,000 people were registered to vote in North Carolina that should not have.
Wonder how they knew that they were in.
They just went through and checked them.
I mean, how would they know?
Maybe send them a letter. If
Okay.
they can punch up another state and they can find out, oh, they're registered in another state, they can't do it, so we're going to take them off the rolls here. There's an average of more than 1,200 voter, or the find that they're deceased, they can do that too. The average of more than 1,200 voter records removed from the voter list every single day during those 20 months.
I'm going to check my dad right now.
1,200 voters were removed from the North Carolina polls, voting elections records, over 20 months. 1,200 a day. The county boards follow careful policies to ensure that only ineligible records are removed, not those of eligible voters. Sometimes may be questionable. There may be two Kelly Knapp there. You never know. Meanwhile, newly eligible voters are constantly being added to the registration rolls in our growing state. Currently, they say North Carolina has 7.7 million registered voters. Wonder how many won't turn out to vote this year. That we will keep our eyes on.
Based on things I'm hearing, that quite a few, or some people are so disgusted,
Yep.
like either
We're-
presidential
we're-
candidate, but
we're-
I'm like, hold on, we got
Yep.
state and local
I
elections.
mean, we
We
got
do it.
local elections, y'all. If you
Yeah.
don't want to vote for either presidential candidate, it's okay. That's your right not to vote. It's like freedom of religion. You
Mhm.
can have freedom from religion, freedom of religion. It's your choice.
Correct. Agreed.
That's what we're about.
Hmm.
You don't have to vote. I think the responsible thing is to vote, but if you're in a position like so many people, and apparently a large number, you just don't want either one of the people.
Yeah.
And I haven't been able to get my name changed yet to none of the above. But if that's the case, then don't vote.
Yeah.
I would rather not vote for somebody than to vote for somebody that I don't know anything about. In my case, instead of not voting, instead of going to the trouble of writing in a name, how about if I vote for both?
Right.
It cancels the vote, cancels it.
Yeah.
It won't count either way. But at least I voted. I voted for president for both of them. Registrants can be removed from the rolls for many reasons, including they moved, maybe to a different county or away from North Carolina all total. They spent 2 federal general elections in inactive status and did not respond to mailings from their county board of elections attempting to confirm their eligibility. Okay, so you did not vote in 2020 or 2016. They can remove you from the polls if they send you a letter and you do not respond and say, yes, I am still registered to vote. I just didn't make it the last 2 times.
Mhm.
Simple as that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you get a letter from the Board of Elections, do you want to stay registered to vote here? Yeah, well, yes, I do. If it comes back unable to be served, unable to be delivered, then guess what? You're going to be removed. Or the voters died. They're going to be removed from the list. Good. That keeps them somebody else who should not be voting using a dead person's name. They were convicted of a felony and are serving a prison sentence, including probation, post-release supervision, or parole. You can get criminal activity so that you can your rights to vote again, okay, and the rights. If they had a duplicate registration, all right, I lived at this address and that address. Well, people, I'm going to get down to that in just a second.
I want to check it.
If you request to be removed, say, I don't want to vote anymore. It doesn't, you don't have to say why. Just say, I don't want to be registered to vote anymore. Some people think that being registered to vote is what gets you called for jury duty.
That's not true.
No, it's not
Isn't
true.
it by your driver's license?
Some people think that being registered to vote, that's how the jury pool is picked.
Mhm.
Forget about that. So go ahead and register to vote. It doesn't matter. If they were subjected to a successful voter challenge, okay,
What does that mean?
I mean, so I say, okay, Kelly, you say you live in this particular house district here in Onslow County,
Mhm.
and but I know that you've got a house and you're living somewhere else, and you haven't lived in that house for quite a while. I don't care if you still own it, but you're not living there. You can't be registered in that district. You cannot vote in that district. Just because you own a house there,
Mhm.
but you're not living there, you've got to vote where you live.
Yeah, where you lay
in the
your
district
head at
where-
night.
yeah.
Yeah,
There you go.
I knew that. Okay, I found myself. I'm good.
All right. If it turns out you ain't a U.S. citizen, they find out, and sometimes it's going to be somebody has challenged you. They found out that Kelly Knapp is actually Irish, and she hasn't. She's not a citizen of the United States, but she's registered to vote somehow or other. So they can challenge her, and sometimes that's happened. But the Board of Elections will also go through
Mhm.
and look and see. Okay. That's one of the reasons. Now, how easy was it for you to check to see if you're registered to vote and all the information about you?
Put my name, my year of birth,
Uh-huh.
and,
And
it
you
popped
don't
up.
you don't have to put your year of birth.
No, I just did it. And I checked my dad because he passed away a
Yeah,
few
that
years ago.
narrows it down if you
Yeah.
put your year of birth. 'Cause there may be 17 Kelly.
You know what?
Knapps
Let
there.
me check that. Let me do that in. Good point.
Now, I would suggest that you check
fraud.
it when you do it. You got an option of checking for one county, Onslow, for instance, or you can check all of North Carolina. See if you're
I'm checking all.
See if anybody else is registered under your name with all of your same stats
Oh, he's so mad.
to be
No,
in
just
some other
me.
county.
Woohoo.
Okay?
Thank God, folks, is only one of me out there. I know that makes a lot of people very happy.
Yeah, well, I check
Just one
I
Kelly
check
Knapp.
mine periodically just to
Mhm.
be sure.
I checked my dad to make sure because he passed away in 2019. I just want to make sure he was taken off, and apparently he was. So
Now,
that,
here in North Carolina, I have the right to say, okay, let me go Board of Elections and voter registration.
Mhm.
I'm going to put in Knapp, Kelly,
Mhm.
and I'll check your registration. You don't get a whole lot of information except how you voted.
Yeah, showed how I
Not
voted.
who you voted for.
No, just
Show you if you're whether you voted on a
Mhm.
Democratic ticket or in the primaries. The
Mhm.
general, it doesn't matter.
Mhm.
Whether you voted in the primary as a Democrat or a Republican.
Mhm.
If you're unaffiliated, you can pick whichever you want to
Yeah.
do. If you're affiliated with one party or the other, you have to vote with that party.
Yep.
But it will show other people how you voted. Now, let me give you the reason. I was in television news, all right?
Mhm.
And about the time I returned to television news after a stint doing other things, putting people in jail and other stuff. About the time I returned to television news, I got a call from the sheriff
Mhm.
of that particular county. He said, well, he was running for re-election. He said, I'm glad to see you're registered the right way. And I said, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Before, I didn't get a speeding ticket getting to the Board of Elections, but it
Mhm.
didn't take me long to get there.
Mhm.
And I became unaffiliated.
Yeah. For that reason.
Should have been all the time. At the time that I first registered to vote, which was you couldn't vote at 18, it was 21 back in the day. At that time, the only party in North Carolina, and particularly the eastern part of North Carolina, were Democrats. I voted the way I wanted to, but we didn't have any Republicans in Onslow County.
Mhm.
I mean, there may have been 3. Maybe 1 ran for office at some point in time. But the decisions were made in the primary.
I just found something weird.
Was that?
So my voter record pulled up, right?
Yep.
I vote every time, and it shows, which is not accurate, but whatever. The first time I voted was 2004, which because I registered when I moved here in 2000. But I moved here in 99, but for whatever reason, it says I registered in 2000, but neither here nor there, because I did what I got, but whatever. But it shows the first time I voted in the 2000 election, and then it shows 2004, it jumps to 2010, but I vote every year. You got all the other, not that it matters, it's well water under the bridge, but I voted every year.
Well,
Weird.
I'll see
Lost
some one day.
records. Yeah.
Go out and say, hey,
Yes.
I voted every year. Why am I not
I mean, it doesn't matter, but yeah, that's odd because it shows everyone every single time.
Were you registered
yeah.
under another name?
No. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just saying, it
Thank
may
you.
or may not have been.
Yep.
I don't
Never
know that
mind.
that had anything to do with it.
That would be, yes, it would.
Okay.
Okay. Well, no,
Because you.
because
it
in
shows you-
2004, I had the other name. Oh, bizarre. It doesn't really matter because that's,
Okay, the reason for
Yeah.
removal, these 750,000 people, they move within the state. So
Mhm.
therefore they have a duplicate. That was almost 290,000 of them.
nice.
That's okay.
Mhm.
2 federal elections in inactive status. I just told you about that. If you don't vote in 2 federal elections, now, House members have to run every 2 years.
Mhm.
So every 2 years is a federal election. It's not a presidential year,
Yeah.
but congressmen run. So that would be considered a federal election. If you miss 2 in a row, then they're going to remove you. 2 federal elections. So if you did not vote in 2016 and you did not vote in 2018, they could remove you. They send you a letter first. If it comes back and you open it and you say, oh, okay, yes, I'm still registered, then they know you're at that address, number one.
Right.
And if it comes back, then you're good to go. They'll say you're fine. If you tell them, yes, I want to stay active here, I just didn't vote.
Right.
Maybe you were in the hospital. Maybe you were out on extended duty somewhere.
Mhm.
Things happen. That's another reason it's important that if you're not going to be in your area for whatever reason, get yourself an absentee ballot.
Well, yes,
I'm going
agreed.
to carry one with me just in case.
You need to. Lesson learned for
He
you.
died. 130,000 people were still on the rolls during that period of time.
Mhm.
He died. Now they may have just died.
Right.
There's 7 days? They check them every 7 days or something. I don't know.
Okay.
But
I didn't know that.
you left the state. 31,000 left the state. I don't think any of them went to California, but
I would hope
maybe
not.
they did.
Right.
Merged duplicates or duplicates. They had 27,000 of those. Now, I don't know what that is, but I'm sure that it could have been multiple names like you.
Mhm.
Maybe they were merged or didn't get it merged. I don't know.
It's weird.
18,883 people were convicted of a felony and they were removed. Or 2,000 requested to be removed for whatever reason. I'm fed up. I'm a sovereign citizen and I ain't going to vote for nobody. I haven't met a sovereign citizen yet. And,
I have.
and there were a few others.
Mhm.
That's the reason people got removed. Okay, now we're up to speed.
Well, we've got some news out of Haywood County. At 7:30, they issued a flood emergency warning, and they posted that they want all the residents to shelter in place and do not attempt to drive, do not enter water, climb to higher ground to evacuate. They're saying that some people in the county that needed water rescue are unable to make contact with emergency response because they don't have any power.
Oh, my.
So they're telling people just do the best you can. I mean, that would be awful.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Yeah, and that's Haywood County's up in the mountains area.
Yep. Flash flooding. We need to call Lee's up in Boone area.
Yeah, but she may not even have phone service. A lot of times I go to the mountains for that reason, so can't nobody get in touch with me. Like
Oh, great.
to just relax.
You're trying to hide from people?
No, I just like to relax. I don't have people calling me constantly. And periodically just need to get away. I try to stay places. One year I stayed at a place and my daughter had to drive a mile down the side of the mountain from where we were staying to get phone signal. I'm like, y'all are
if I
obsessed.
if I owned
Yeah.
a place like that,
Mhm.
especially if it's a nice place,
Yeah.
and people were kind of like dependent upon cell service or
Mhm.
whatever, I would install a small repeater. You
Mhm.
can get them; they're not
Yeah.
that expensive. Put a good one in, $1,000. Put it up on the top of the roof on a
Mhm.
small tower, 20, 30 feet up,
Mhm.
and that will go to the nearest cell tower somewhere.
I will
And
tell
then-
you-
Then you've got access from those people inside that little locale.
Well, let me tell you where we were. We were on the road if you kept going past the cabin we were staying at, it was remote, like you couldn't
You
see
heard
nothing.
banjos.
No, we were where if you kept winding up about half a mile to a mile, that's where they found air off in caves. That's where we were. Yeah.
He didn't want no dang old cell.
There was nothing. I mean, it was very remote. It was very cool. Now, in Cedar Key, Florida, as of 7:15 this morning, the fire chief who had stayed said it was grim. He said
Yeah.
he was just on one street, First and D, and right then and there, at least 6 houses were completely demolished. He said that multiple homes are damaged or just absolutely gone. He said the storm surge hit hard, and a hardware store, the market, post office, and fire station were all damaged badly. Yeah, and that's just as of 7:15. He was just venturing out.
140-mile-per-hour sustained
Yeah.
winds making landfall is going to create a lot of problems.
And
we know that.
some of the surge hit at high tide would made it even worse.
That's even worse.
Yeah, it's very sad. The photos are starting to come out, and it's not good.
Yeah, daylight's going to be a mess.
Liberty County, Georgia, as of 6:30 this morning, the Hinesville Police Department, I know exactly where that is,
I don't.
had to temporarily suspend all emergency services that we cannot travel.
That's the other thing folks
Yeah.
don't understand. Not only are power crews limited during a storm until the winds subside, they can't go up in their on the bucket trucks, and they're not going to climb any poles when the winds are higher than 35 miles an hour. It's not going to happen.
Yeah,
It's dangerous
yeah,
for everybody concerned.
absolutely. I mean,
Those bucket trucks, whew,
Oh, man.
heavy winds, those things rock and roll.
I'm
sometimes.
looking at a video of Cedar Key, Florida, from last night when it was hitting.
Mhm.
Oh my, oh Rayford,
Yeah.
this is absolutely heart wrenching. I don't know whose house this is. Oh, sad. It's very sad.
It is.
Mother Nature is amazing, but also can have just some fury as
Yeah.
well.
We can learn to live with her. We cannot combat her.
Can you imagine living like in the late 1800s when you didn't have this kind of notice?
Didn't have
And-
what the
and-
warnings were.
They didn't, I mean, and just all of a sudden this giant storm comes and it's flooding. I mean, back then it had to be catastrophic.
The guys out there who are looking at the National Hurricane Center
Mhm.
map, the big map there,
Yeah.
you're going to see 3 red things on it. One of them is Helene, of course, is now down to a tropical storm and is crossing into the South Carolina area. And the other one is something called, it's now a Hurricane Isaac. It's got winds of 75 miles per hour. It's way up there, way offshore. It's on the other side of Bermuda, about as far from Bermuda going that away as Bermuda is from North Carolina. So it's a long ways away. And
Where's
it's
that
going-
other little X?
and it's going the other way. It's going towards the east. So, and moving at 12 miles an hour. Helene, by the way, is running about 30 miles an hour now.
Yeah, it's zipping.
It's going, it's, you know,
Zip, zip, zip.
faster it goes, the less rain it drops in any given area. Now, down further south, about halfway between Africa, the coast of Africa, and the Windward and Leeward Islands there, we've got another big old X there.
Yep.
It's disturbance number 1, 90% chance of cyclone formation in 48 hours, 90% chance. Showers and thunderstorms associated with this area of low pressure. It's getting better organized. The disturbance is already producing gale force winds. Environmental conditions are conducive for further development, and a tropical depression or storm could form today while the system moves generally westward to west-northwestward at about 10 to 15 miles per hour. This system is then forecast to slow down and turn towards the north-northwest by the weekend. Additional information can be found at other locations, the high seas forecast. This one is one for us to watch.
Yeah.
This one is forming up in a traditional hurricane
Mhm.
fashion, and it's unless some stuff between, and I don't know what that stuff is. I need to find a meteorologist with some smarts.
Mhm.
They tell me this whatever's between us and there
Mhm.
is that if that's going to have any impact, good or bad,
Yeah.
on this system.
Yeah.
This one could be one of those.
Mhm. I know.
Okay.
Yep.
It's at the prime time for us.
Yeah,
Which
it
is not
is.
good.
People that are new to this area don't realize we're in prime time. It's not June and July are relatively calm here. That every once in a while we get some, but not. This is we're just ramping up.
Yeah.
Because I remember when my daughter was planning her wedding in October, we were like, okay, what are we? What it seems as like a safe bet. So she went with October 7th. Yeah.
October 7th.
It was a long time ago, but yeah.
Oh, we can celebrate
Yeah.
together. Yeah, way.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
coming up short.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness
Yeah,
gracious!
it is
real
coming
fast.
up. My daughter
Uh-oh.
reminded me. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
well.
So-
Okay.
I want to rant and rave about something,
Okay.
about the VA and their services for veterans for a
Mhm.
minute. I deal with quite a few clients that are veterans, military of all age ranges, from 80 down to in their early 30s, that are dealing strictly with our local VA clinics. And when I say that I if I could find some way to testify to Congress, I've already got a probably 15-page information written document that I would like to go up and advocate
You
for.
need to talk to our congressman.
I need to, there has to be a hearing. They need to open some hearings into how, first of all, difficult it is for veterans to obtain the care in the community that they need. I have a guy I'm working with now that has been seeing me for a year, and still haven't been paid, not one dime,
Wow.
by the VA, and he is angry about it. And they keep asking him why he just doesn't want to go through their services. And he,
y'all suck.
he's dealt with Congressman Murphy several times, and they've been hugely helpful just for his actual medical care. He said, first of all, and so he listed a laundry list of things that he dealt with them even 2 days ago with. He said, first of all, in the last year alone, from last September to this September, he said 7 primary cares. They just keep quitting, and I know why, but that's a whole other issue. He said, I can't get an appointment. It's this next thing. 2, when you schedule me 6 months out, I can't wait 6 months for my medicine or my blood pressure, whatever it is. He said, then the appointments are not consistent, especially for veterans who have, most of them, PTSD, definitely, anxiety, depression, severe depression at that. They cannot see somebody once a month, or God forbid, once every 6 weeks. That's not good mental health care. He said, I've been seeing her a year. I want to see her, continue seeing her. I am credentialed. I'm contracted with VA Community Care. And so he said, what is the holdup? Well, we have to approve it. He said, so he's had to get Congressman Murphy involved before. He's going to do it again.
Good.
But I had another veteran put me on the phone, and we did it like a 3-way call. And they didn't know I was on the phone because he wanted me to hear how they talked to him. How they talked to this man was absolutely horrific. The way they talked down to him,
Oh,
the way
really?
they treat, it was, Rayford, it was all, you guys all know, I have a hard time being quiet.
Oh, no.
I did good. You would be super proud of me. They never knew I was on the
Okay.
phone. I had to put my hand, twice I had to get up and walk away. I was so angry. I was absolutely, if I could have reached through the phone and choked this lady out, I honestly would have. And he said, this is not the first time he's been talked to this way. Our veterans deserve top-notch care, whether they've served, 40 years or 4 years. They are the reason why we have the freedoms. They've gone to war. I've listened to things that they've endured. I've got a client that was in Vietnam. The stories are horrific.
Yeah, you don't.
To currently Afghanistan, Iraq, even other conflicts that a lot of people don't know about. A lot of them are psychologically impacted, and they need the care. And to just give them the runaround and not, this is a nation of provider choice. And this is another reason why I am against national health care.
Yep.
Because this is how it's done. If they pick your provider for you, it takes forever to get an appointment. This, number one, is why. But the VA needs to be overhauled. They need to do better. It's been this way for so long. I don't foresee, but if I could get in front of Congress, I have so much I would say.
Here's the problem. The VA is also, they have to convince Congress.
Mhm.
They have to go through that whole process. And it's going to have to start there.
Mhm.
It's not with the VA. It's going to have to start with
No, Congress is going to have to overhaul their rules.
They're going to have to come up with the
Their
set rules
mandates.
that every
That's what I'm saying.
And you're going
Yes.
us not to have a major VA. We are the second largest
Mhm.
marine base in the world.
Yes.
The largest amphibious marine base in
Correct.
the world.
Yes.
And who goes in first
Hmm.
to a conflict?
Right.
Who's there?
Yes.
SEALs and the Marines.
Yes.
I'm sorry, people.
Yeah.
We should have had a huge facility. This should have been a must-visit town for other veterans who are in outlying areas to come to.
My client had to switch from the Jacksonville VA clinic to the Wilmington. It hadn't got any better, but it's a little bit better because he got such a run around the clinic here. And I know they are understaffed.
They're hamstrung.
But some of it is VA policy, and I know this because, believe it or not, I know somebody that is a doctor with the they're not anymore. They got so burned out they quit. The amount of constraints that they put on their doctors is no human can do it. So there's that as well. But it needs to change, and I will continue to fight if I have to go to the moon. Well, you know how I feel about
You
that.
don't want to do that.
But I want to get in front of Congress. I just need somebody to put me up there, and I'll testify 3 days in a row if I have to.
Okay.
I want this changed.
Okay, well, we need to work with Congressman.
I'm gonna call him.
Greg
Yeah.
Murphy a call.
Yeah.
We do have a caller. Thanks for holding. Good morning. Who's this?
Good morning, Mike. How y'all doing?
Hey, Mike.
Hey, Mike.
We're hanging in here. What's up?
All right. I'm just calling to piggyback on Kelly's sentiments about the VA.
Sorry if I made you mad.
It's pretty bad, and
Mhm.
a lot of it is because they're short-staffed, like you said.
Yeah.
And when they're short-staffed, then big VA forces the doctors to like, all right, you only see your patients for 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
My doctor literally told me that, like, we only have 30 minutes, and then you really can't expound upon everything in your whole medical history in 30 minutes, as far as like deep diving into everything. That's one of the problems. Community care. I do have community care, a community care doctor now because VA ran out of doctors, and they told me that I had to go through community care. When I switched over, now they're like, well, you can't use any of our VA service because now you have community.
Yeah.
You got to be kidding.
And that's not how that works. But I hear you, and
Yeah.
that's a whole nother. And Mike is exactly right. And this is a problem. And what you said, Mike, something else you brought up, how they only get 30 minutes, which is true. Is I know somebody they were told 20, but when you get 4 or 5 different doctors, they have to go in and tell their story all over again, and they can't get the treatment. They can't get MRIs.
Here's the question I had for you, Mike, because I have not been to the VA. I'm not eligible for all that sort of good stuff. But anyway, if you go to the VA and you have to come back, I don't know, 2 months, 3 months. I don't know what some of the revolving turnarounds are. Sometimes people have to go every month, supposed to go. Sometimes every 6 months or whatever. Do you see the same doctor every time you go? Does your doctor the second time you go to see him? Is it the same doctor? Do they even have your medical history available?
Well, 2 to 3 month turnaround would be a blessing to see.
Correct.
To begin with.
Mm-hmm.
You will see them typically in a year after or 6 months after to a year. And by that time, you'll have a new VA doctor because the burnout level is so high right now that, they're not trying to deal with being stipulated from big VA or being overwhelmed with, so many patients.
So there are issues there, and there are issues that need to be dealt with. I mean, I don't want to harp on this illegal immigration crap so much, but I'm going to. We pay more attention.
Agreed.
We pay much more attention to these folks who are costing us, who have never done anything for us other than kill us. 111,000 last year. We pay more attention and give them more benefits than we give all of the veterans that we have around.
Yes.
And there ain't that many left. They're dying.
Because they can't get care.
That's it.
Yeah. Now, I was in therapy with the VA through all my stuff with Iraq and Afghanistan for multiple years since about 2014.
Uh-huh.
The VA ended our group, so we have group counseling, which is actually I found was the best way to deal with my issues.
Yeah.
Being around other people that
are like minded.
Because they understood.
Yeah.
Why did they end it?
So they ended our group because basically they're like, well, we're building a dependency on VA instead of just they want to say you're cured and go off in life and downgrade your VA rating. That's basically what they want to do. So they're like, well, you're building the dependency on the VA and yourself to be in this group to where you're not really
focusing on the solution. Well, we are focused on the solution. We're going out every day and we're dealing with our triggers and stuff like that.
Yes.
Our doc pieces in check. We can call him anytime. Even since the group ended, we've still been meeting as a group, with the doc. The doc still meets with us regularly. And it's all about just, being able to continue on in society. And that's the disconnect that they have. They look at it as transactional as far as, people being in a group. They got to afford this much time. They got to take away this doctor to do the group session instead of actually providing care for the veteran. And that's one of the main problems as well.
That ticks me off so bad.
I feel bad for you. I feel bad for all the veterans who call in here. I feel bad because our ham radio club's got about 70 members officially. I think 35 or 40 are active right now. A vast majority of them are veterans. I hear these complaints when they're talking, when we're having conversations as a group. And that's how we have conversations, because everybody can listen and everybody joins in. I hear these same complaints from them.
Well,
It's not just Mike. It's everybody across the board has got the same complaint.
Yeah.
If everybody's got the same complaint, somebody ought to stand up and pay attention.
well, Mike, let me ask you a question. When they said you were, quote, cured, did they try to lower your VA rating?
Oh, no, they never, said that I'm cured. That's just their goal, as far as,
Oh, well,
ending groups and trying to put a limit on your care as far as being with their doctors and such, try to
then-
micromanage it.
don't let him cure you, because my client, they tried to say because his depression and PTSD, his nightmares weren't as frequent, like he wasn't having 8 a day versus, and he was down, let's say, 12 a week. They actually attempted, or actually did, till he had to get Congressman Murphy involved, to, they said, well, you're cured, you're better. They reduced his rating. So he lost money.
They'll do that. They'll do that quick. But
It's
I'm
outrageous.
so that's for me.
Well, I mean, but he was permanently disabled. His story is awful.
You know what
but
we need?
this is outrageous. This is wrong.
You know
This
what
is wrong.
I know exactly what we need. We need enough veterans who are have extensive experience with the Veterans Administration to run and get elected to Congress. If we had
Well,
a dozen or 5 from each state,
This would be better. Yeah.
a lot of things would be better. Number one, there'd be a lot of common sense engaged.
some have on both sides of the aisle. Some have already.
I know they have, but not enough.
We need more.
Yeah, we need more.
Yeah, we need more.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do need more.
I think that
And we
if,
do.
when we should never cut a veteran's disability rating. Most of them, the ones I've encountered, aren't getting enough. Personally, this is my opinion.
Yeah.
I think the veterans should have choice, because you don't always mesh with a provider. I've had a few people that we just didn't mesh with. It's very few, but some I just can't get to leave. But I mean, that's fine. I guess that says something about me. I don't know. But and I help find people, but veterans have choice, and they should have choice of who they see. They should have consistency in their providers. They should not have to wait 6 months to get a diabetes check, or be sent for a heart blockage, or, for a pap smear, or whatever it is that they're a prostate exam. They are waiting a year, 6 months, 9 months. I mean, people could be dead by that point, or they're suicidal and they can't see a provider. They can't get their medicine, or they're made a medicine dependent by shipping all these meds in bulk.
Or they become medicine dependent, or they seek other alternatives to the medicine.
Yeah. I mean,
That's one of the issues.
but
There's ways to
go ahead.
make it faster. Like a lot of the veterans, they just don't use the online tools.
Yeah.
Maybe they're not comfortable with it, or they just don't know. But when you use the online portal, they are required by law to respond within 24 hours. And that pretty much get the ball rolling and getting things done. Ever since I've been using that, I've never had a problem as far as those checks and shots or anything like that. So that's one of the things.
Well, that's good, because my clients use the portal and can't do it.
No, let's hold. Yeah, I was going to say, just hold on just a minute.
Yeah, you've been lucky, guys.
Let's hold on just a minute. My portal
Yeah.
that I have to deal with my doctor, a couple of them,
Yeah.
I can't make it work all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
It keeps dropping passwords. It keeps changing this. Now, I would be of the Vietnam era.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how many of those guys even like computers?
Correct. Yeah.
How many of them have to use them daily? I have to use it daily.
Mhm.
I mean, that's just me.
Mhm.
How many of those guys have to use it daily? How many of those homeless vets out there in the bushes have a computer they can even use daily?
Correct.
How many of those
Yeah.
would get so frustrated tend to get when I'm trying to get this computer blankety blank
Mhm.
computer to do its thing on a portal and it won't.
Yeah.
How frustrated
It's
does that
very
make me?
frustrating. And if you've got somebody that's, already got issues with anger and irritability, that's going to make it even
Right.
worse. Bottom
Make
line.
it worse. Yeah. Yep, and that's part of the problem, and it's the modernization. But then you also, if they apply those same standards to in person and all that, when you they scan your eye, but they supposed to scan your ID card. They don't do that anymore. So when they do that, then you have accountability more, I believe. But there's a lot of holes that need to be fixed
Yeah, I think
in
so.
the system.
Okay, you need to run for Congress. We've already come to that
Do it, Mike.
determination. I got your bumper sticker. You ready for this one?
Uh-oh. Oh, no.
Listen up.
Oh, no.
Too many lawyers, enough veterans. Mike for Congress.
I
Yeah,
bet.
and I'm a pretty common sense guy. I mean, I believe I don't have like an ideology when it comes to being a Democrat, right?
Yeah.
And what I currently classify up as Democrat, I'll probably go independent if I were to run.
Can't get elected.
I mean, like, yeah,
That's the
but,
problem.
I mean, I definitely believe in the border as far as my solutions. To be honest, and I told Laura this that we ought to treat it like a fob overseas. I'm talking landmines.
I agree. I'm with you.
I'm
He's
talking landmines.
Uh-huh.
I'm talking sensors in the ground to detect tunneling.
that's right.
I'm talking
Yes.
a wall like the Great Wall of China that's girthy up there. They're certain miles apart for expanded border control capacity to where they be there and respond quickly. I'm talking about drones to where you can do all that, and also the fentanyl machines that were in the last bill. But I mean, all those things are possible, and it should have been done.
I can do it
no
cheap.
matter what party.
I can do it a lot cheaper. We
How?
lease, the federal government needs to lease 2 miles along the southern border from one end of that border all the way to California, 2 miles, and make it a live fire zone for all military units to go there with their tanks, with their grenades and their little grenade launchers and their howitzers, their machine guns, if you want to call them that. You have it, and it's all the National Guards, reserve units, everybody goes along the border at uncommon locations. You never know where they're going to be, and you're conducting live fire training exercises around the clock.
That would deter
Now,
some people.
Yeah.
The only problem we have with our either one of the plans is the land dispute that's been going on ever since. So they've been trying to build a border wall for
That's true.
landowners that's
Yeah.
out there.
Yep.
And I mean, but it's got to be ways around that. Like going to I'm pretty sure their land is like not in Mexico. You have intimate domain to where you can get some land.
That's right. You can do that. And the other thing about all of that is there's one thing. Yeah, hey, we can't stop them at the border. Well, guess what, Mike? If you don't got a military ID card on you, do you think you can sneak aboard Camp Lejeune and get away with it?
No.
Okay, this is all military.
Mhm.
It's called no trespassing.
Mhm.
Forget about all the border laws. Just enforce the no trespassing laws. Duh.
There's laws in the books where things can definitely be enforced.
Anyway, that's my plan.
It comes down to it. Yeah. But I mean, as long as they treat it as West issues, it's also going to be obviously on
There you
both sides.
Mike, I appreciate your call,
Yeah,
sir. Thank you.
Mike.
Yep.
All right, let's
Have a
see. Too many lawyers, not enough veterans. Vote Mike for Congress.
I like that.
There, I think that's a roll. That could be launched nationwide.
But what is it most infuriating about this for me? I mean, what is sad is some providers, when they don't get paid, like by the insurance timely, they stop seeing patients. I would
Oh, I got
never,
that.
ever do that. I've gone a year and I hadn't got one
Mhm.
check for this guy. I see him every week. Because you know why? One, he's my client. I'm not going to abandon him. And two, eventually they will pay me. And I know this.
Mhm.
I mean, we just tally up. I mean,
that my insurance company,
Mhm.
they cover one thing that I go see every month, right?
mhm, yeah,
But the doctor doesn't.
Yeah.
But they fill out a form and give it to me, and I can file
can
it
bill the
myself,
insurance,
and
yeah.
then I bill it, and they eventually. I
I mean-
usually save it up, and I do for like 4 months worth at a
Yeah.
time, 3 or 4 months, and then we send them in every month. A bunch of them all together, and and we get a check. I got a check yesterday.
yeah. I
Actually,
mean,
I got 2 checks yesterday.
my client is very concerned. He's
Don't
like,
understand,
you know,
but I got them.
well, he's like, you're not going to stop. No, dude, don't. Look, you will be here until you say you don't want to come anymore. That's fine. But what is infuriating to me is you've got, and I'm trying not to make this political, but I'm about to say something that's going to make this political. When you see the commercials about Kamala Harris saying she wants to provide, medical care to the people coming here illegally, or that ones that are coming and getting housing and food stamps. But my personal favorite is care for transgender illegals to have gender reassignment surgery when you're not even paying for our citizens to get that. I have a problem with that.
And
But take some of that money you're dumping into the free cell phones and the food stamps and the housing for illegal aliens, and put that money into the VA.
Yep.
That will be hugely helpful. We
Well-
have to take care of our own first before we take care of everybody else.
I got another solution for these programs like the VA.
Mhm.
Okay, just thought about it. Just don't know why I didn't before. The only time we ever hear of any wannabe politicians, wannabe presidents, wannabe congressmen, wannabe senators, wannabes, right?
Yeah.
Only time we ever hear about it is during an election year.
Yes, sir.
Why do we have elections for senators every 6 years? We should have it every year. Why do we have elections for president every 4 years? Why don't we have it every year? We get more done because they make these promises.
Oh, that's a good point, right?
And,
Yeah.
and when it's like my car tag, it's going to expire every year.
Mhm.
When I don't do what I'm supposed to do and I have to renew that thing, that car better be in deep.
Yeah.
Or I'm not going to be able to renew it. If that president that we elect
Mhm.
this year
Yeah.
in November takes office in January, if he or she does not do what they promise and we hold them accountable, come next year, you're out, dude. Next.
I like that.
Why don't
actually.
y'all listen to me? The Wild and Woolly Marine Forecast brought to you by Community Prevention Services of Jacksonville. I make too much common sense, that's why. Yeah, you no doubt, I guarantee you drive up around the highways and byways of Onslow County and other counties. It's not just here in Onslow County.
Mhm.
You're going to find these well-lit stores. They got all colorful signage around them, right? Looks like a circus, a carnival. And they're featuring vaping products.
Mhm.
I did not know when the first time I saw vape here, vape this, vape that. And I said, vape what?
Do you think marijuana?
I had no idea. Vaping was this some years ago. I do know what it is, but I did not know what it was. I saw people going into areas that said no smoking, and they got something cupped in their hand like this. I thought they were holding a cigarette, and they're hiding the cigarette. No, it was a little device they used for vaping. Good thing I wasn't a cop because I would have challenged every one of them.
Right.
Maybe you aren't aware of it, but maybe you don't know. North Carolina is number 2 in the nation.
It is.
Number 2 for teenage vaping.
It is.
Did you know that?
I knew it.
You knew it because
I
you
knew
told
it.
me.
Yeah.
Parents and caregivers,
Mhm.
y'all, if you want to learn more about this vaping stuff, the inherent dangers for teenagers who vape, and how to help keep teens from partaking of this mess, there is some help out there. People will help you out and tell you what the stuff is and what the dangers are. Contact Community Prevention Services, 910-353-0972. Located right here in Jayville, 918 Henderson Drive. Locally owned, locally operated. There's no cross-country trips you have to take. Don't gotta fly everywhere, drive even down the street. You can just drive over to Henderson Drive. Maybe you want to learn what the hype's all about. Maybe you want to try it. Maybe before you try it, you should go see somebody who knows what they're talking about.
Mhm.
If you're going to count on your teenager to tell you,
You're not going to get the information.
I mean,
Can tell you
that would
that.
be kind of like asking Godzilla for
Yeah.
information about something. No,
We're all
do
going to be
not.
at National Night Out on Tuesday, though.
Yes,
Come see our
good.
booth. Yep.
That's a big deal coming up too.
Yep.
National Night Out's a big deal.
We'll
You'll
give you
hear
some
a
info.
lot about it. Community Prevention Services offers free information on all substance misuse prevention issues
Yep.
for youth and adults.
Mhm.
Some of y'all got other issues as well. I know some of the veterans out there. We've all got some issues.
Mhm.
If you're concerned, if you're not getting the help that you think you should get, if you're getting misguidance,
hmm
that means fake help. If you're relying on the internet to diagnose you, why don't you just go get in the box? Because you're, according to the internet, you're getting ready to die
Yeah.
from one of those things.
hmm
910, and that's depressing. 910-353-0972. 918 Henderson Drive right here in Jacksonville. Offshore today. Don't go out there to verify what I'm telling you. Take my word for it. If you don't, go up and Google it somewhere to the National Hurricane Center, the National Weather Service. Do something. Just don't take it upon yourself to go prove it. Small craft advisor is in effect, and it's going to be that way until tomorrow morning. The ocean is nowhere that you need to be. Southerly winds 20 to 25 knots, gust to 35, seas 8 to 11 feet. Near shore, seas 5 to 8 feet, building to 8 to 9 this afternoon. 10-foot waves. 10-foot waves,
No.
taller than
No.
the ceiling.
Yeah.
Every 8 seconds, coming
Mhm.
from the south. Sounds and rivers are rough.
Mm.
Tomorrow, southwesterly winds around 10 knots coming down. Seas also diminishing 4 to 6. Still too rough to get out there. Don't.
Mhm.
Sounds and rivers are light chop. Stay inside, catch some redfish and some speckled trout, and bring me 2 of each. Sunday, your best bet for a good day on the water is calm after the storm, as they say. Southwesterly winds around 5 knots, becoming southerly in the afternoon. Seas 2 to 4. Sounds and rivers flat, increasing to a light chop in the afternoon.
Today, showers and thunderstorms, high of 85. It'll be breezy with winds 14 to 20 miles an hour, and we could have gusts as high as 31 miles an hour. Tonight, mostly cloudy, then becoming clear with a low of 71. Tomorrow, sunny, high of 87. Tomorrow night, clear, low of 67. And on Sunday, mostly sunny, a high of 85. I guarantee you, well, it's muggy out there today. I think it'll be muggy tomorrow, too, when this
Oh yeah, it's going to be
situation
muggy.
goes.
It's going to be thick out there, as they say. Got something out of Iran. Well, multiple people. Wow, connections to Iran have been indicted in relation to a hacking plot against former President Trump.
Mhm. Oh, they finally indicted somebody?
Yes, they've
Huh.
indicted multiple
'Cause they hacked in
somebodies.
and got their emails and everything.
It's not known how many people are being charged in connection with the cyber crime. Specific charges have also not been released as yet. The details of the indictments might be unsealed as early as today. Don't know yet. Have to wait and see. This is a developing story. This is important. This is some of the things that some folks here have been complaining about, talking about, and others are poo-pooing. And what's going to be interesting, if you find any connections there, Iranian connections that have U.S. connections. If some of these individuals who are indicted also, they may have the Iranian plot, but they might be coming from inside our borders. You never know. You don't know what this is going to bring about, but stay tuned for that one. Okay.
I've got something new.
Go ahead before I start
gonna
ranting
like
and
this.
raving.
There's a new drug
Goody.
in North
Just what I
Carolina,
need.
and it has now been discovered in eastern North Carolina for the first time.
Great.
It's called, I'm going to do it for short, BTMPS. So it's now you're going to love this.
BTMP.
BTMPS. Yeah, I don't.
trying-
I'm going to read the long.
No,
It's
don't even
long. It's
try
a lot of
this.
letters. So it's a chemical with industrial uses. That uses like a UV blocking component added to plastic and candles. That's what this chemical is put in normally. Plastic and candles.
Okay.
It has now begun to make its way into street drugs in both powder and pill form. And what is interesting is at UNC's Street Drug Analysis Lab, they started testing substances and found it. They're like, we don't understand why this drug is why is this?
Why is it even used in candles? I mean, what's the
I don't
purpose
know
of
what
this
the
stuff?
purpose of it is. And it just started appearing in North Carolina. They saw it first in Asheville, and then it started coming
Well,
over
I
to
know.
Edgecombe County.
Wilmington's next.
Yes, and they say what is the issue is the Edgecombe County paramedic program manager, because a lot of counties also has one too, community paramedic program, which is excellent. They go to your home and see people. Well, the manager there said the biggest concern, because no one ever heard of this, why would you? Who thinks this up? Said it's not only in powder, it's in a pill form, and the patient that used the powder were passing out, their chest was burning, they were coughing, and he said,
Oh,
"Well,
man,
what
that's
about
a
when
great
somebody's
eye.
taking a pill? Like, what happens to them?" And it says it causes symptoms like blurred vision, ringing ears, excessive vomiting, and they're worried about the long-term lung damage when some guy or gal decides they're going to smoke it. And they're hearing a lot of reports of vein damage from people that are injecting it. Because, like
Well,
mixing
y'all-
it with heroin.
Sounds to me like we got population control coming.
And I said, because what they're saying is this doesn't have any, like it doesn't get you high. Like fentanyl will, lower where you don't feel anything, and all these other things. This goes in candles and like blocks out the sun, so to speak. I mean, they said
From candles?
I get. Why would you put it in a
I'm saying
candle?
to block
Is it
out
like
the
to
sun?
block out heat? Like it's got UV blocking components. I don't know who thought this up, but they're saying that they think it's going to start killing people, and they're saying the way that people that use illegal drugs can tell it if it smells like bug spray or plastic. Who smells your medicine? First of all, a lot of my thyroid medicine when I take smells horrific. And then I have to take sodium butyrate. That smells like, I don't even know what I would say. A dead body, I don't know. It smells really bad. What kind of drug user is going to smell? They're not. But who said, let me take this? One, where they get the component.
And who wants to be the guinea pig?
Do they just sit around at some big drug den and say, let's make up something new? Well, let me go get this, put it in here
Y'all
and
got a
see what it
candle? Let me have
does.
that candle. I'm going to calm
Yeah,
it down
like-
a little bit.
I've often wondered, like, who does this? I just don't know.
It's those wacky, I was going to say professors, but wacky chemists who get in labs who love to tinker and play and see what we can come up with. And, the unfortunate thing about some of that,
Mhm.
some of those wacky people, they get research money to do
Mhm.
this.
Yes.
And they develop other things. And then we have to pay for the real drugs that are being developed
Right.
for years and years and years until all that research is paid for.
Well,
That's my theory, y'all.
well, you're right. But okay, have you seen the signs at like these vape shops and these other stores for kratom? I don't know if you've seen the signs
No.
for kratom. Kratom is something that our North Carolina legislator has not. I think they're working on it. At least I hope they are. I've mentioned this to Senator Lazar. It's not regulated, and it needs to be. Kratom is dangerous.
What does it do?
It makes you high. It makes you.
Is it a
It's a
vapor?
you can. It comes in several forms. You can either buy it like capsules. You can buy it, and some people make tea out of it. But North Carolina DHHS has started looking at autopsy reports
Oh,
of
good.
people that had died, and this showed up in. They did from 2015, so they did a 9-year study, and in 357, and this is toxicology reports that they've just gotten to. They've got a whole lot more to go. Kratom was found in their bloodstream.
How does it? I mean, how do you get it otherwise? Can you get it naturally or?
Well, it's a natural. Okay.
So-
Okay, so a few grams or leaf. It's a plant, and it's similar to I would say like the coffee plant. And it's grown in South America. I know that's not a big shock to anybody, and it's from I'm gonna go Southeast Asia, and also, but now it's also coming from South America. But I can't pronounce this word, so we're gonna go with the coffee family, the
Okay.
family of
Gotcha.
beans and stuff. So anyway. Well, I had a client that once took kratom and ended up they had to bust the door down to get it. The EMS did to get into them. They were in a fetal position. They almost died. It was bad. It's really bad. So, but what it's having is it's a stimulant, and it can produce an effect like drinking coffee. But when you ingest high amounts, you can literally blow your heart up. I mean, and when you take 8 to 10 grams of the leaf material, so they'll grind up the leaves, and sometimes they smoke it, or some people put it in pill form. You can buy it because you can buy it over the counter. It becomes a sedative effect, which too much of a sedative will stop your breathing, which people may or may not know. And the DEA has said, obviously, they've come out about it because they said high dose can lead to addiction, which I've personally seen. It is bad. And North Carolina, our legislature has got to get in here. When you're finding now, it's showing up in autopsies, and they're not saying that this is causing it, because a lot of these drug users are consuming more than one drug.
Sure.
So they're having a hard time distinguishing, did the kratom kill them? Was it the heroin? Was it the cocaine? Was it the whatever?
I can see the uneducated drug-wise legislator saying, well, wait a minute, how many of those 357?
Yeah, that they've studied so far, yes.
How many of those 357 autopsies also had aspirin or Tylenol in the
Right,
system?
yeah.
So is it dangerous?
It is dangerous.
That's the question that
Yes.
they have to get in through the legislature
And
first.
other states have banned it. North Carolina has not. You can be 18 to buy it,
Yeah.
which is even scarier because it's unregulated, which means you don't know. You might think I'll give you a prime example. It's not kratom, but I had a client that was using gummies, CBD gummies, not marijuana gummies, but CBD gummies, to help them sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Their primary care had said, I suggest you try CBD. Works because CBD is not marijuana. I mean, it's derived from a plant. It's a whole separate thing.
Doesn't have the THC
So
content.
my client, I don't know why they did this, whatever, went to a gas station here in Onslow County and bought a little package of what they thought were CBD gummies. Well, EMS got called. They ended up at Onslow, and EMS actually pointed out to them, look at the back packaging. It had meth in it. They almost died. They didn't know, but EMS here had seen other, because they're like,
how did it get into the grocery store?
that's what I question. And that's what he says as well.
Is it illegal for that particular product?
The product is not, but the state's working on regulating it as of December, I think. I'm not sure. This is one of the reasons why when Sheriff Thomas went in and did those raids back in April of the vape shops, they were looking for illegal products like this that are labeled one thing, but they have like meth in them, cocaine, whatever. That was what they were looking for.
Wonderful.
But this is killing our citizens. And my client had a heart rate of over 200
Oh, Lord.
from doing nothing.
It's a wonder it didn't pop.
That's what I'm saying. It was awful.
Cool.
Yeah. So anyway, just putting out there, we've got a lot of new stuff coming out.
Y'all, if you're of an age, or
Yeah.
even if you're too old and you should know better,
Yeah.
and somebody's offering you a bunch of this crap, just back away.
Please don't
Say
take
no. There are other guinea pigs out there.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe tell them to send it to all the prisoners on death row first.
Yeah.
Let them try it out. And those that survive, well, okay. And those that don't, well, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And good morning, this is Live and Local. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm fine. It's Monday.
This is Kelly.
this is
I know
Phil.
you like sheets and everything.
Oh, this is
You're
for
right.
Kelly. She likes. Oh, does she like sheets? Do you like sheets?
I love sheets. What?
There's the town I live in. I have to travel probably about 20, 25 minutes to the next town.
Uh-huh.
They have a sheet, and their population's about 45,000.
Exactly.
48,000.
And tell me why we can't get one here.
Because they don't want you to overdose on their hot chocolate.
My,
It's for your benefit.
my hometown's population is 38,000, and they have a Sheetz. And not only do they have a Sheetz, Rayford, they are demolishing it and building it bigger. They're going to have indoor restaurant seating. And Jacksonville cannot get a Sheetz. This is just a pure travesty.
It's going to take somebody who with the Sheets Corporation to want one. Jacksonville's not going to
Do
turn
you know
them
how much
down.
money they would make? Any investor
Well, then
that's
why
listening.
don't you start?
I don't have that kind of money. I wish I did.
The next thing I heard you guys talking about fuel prices and everything.
Yeah. What are they up there?
Well, I work at a a gas station now.
Uh-huh.
I just want to get out of the medical field
Yeah.
for a while.
Don't blame you.
Did it for 22 years,
Hmm.
and
You get burned
you
out.
know, I got burned out.
Yeah.
I did 911 and convalescent transport
Hmm.
and everything. I work at a gas station. It's Circle K.
Okay.
No lie, the price of one day it changed 3 different times.
Yeah.
How do y'all know to change it? Like, do you get a phone call?
Well,
Is like,
no, it's all run by corporate.
oh, really? Well,
Yes, they set the prices.
so corporate sets
Yeah.
it. Interesting.
Yesterday, the fuel price was $3.29. It was down to $3.24. Before I left work, it was $2.99.
Huh. That's wild.
Competition somewhere.
Interesting. But how do you know to change it? Do they like
Hello.
call you guys? Do they like how
It's
do
all
you?
computer
And
controlled.
so it just comes by the computer. Okay.
All
Okay.
computer.
Oh
Computer
wow.
run.
Huh. I just learned
Yeah.
something.
And what's so funny is, I live in I wouldn't say a town, it's a village because
Mhm.
it has less than 1,000 people.
Okay.
Oh, lovely place.
It's quiet town. I'm telling you, it's quiet. I mean, yeah.
That's a good thing.
There's more livestock than there's people where I live.
I like that already.
Yes. And where I live at, we don't even have to lock our doors.
Hmm.
They finally got a police department. There's a chief, a captain, and a patrol person.
That's enough.
Oh
That's
wow.
it.
Okay.
Yes. It's wonderful. It reminds me of North Carolina, but with some hills.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Okay.
Quiet and everything. And we need the rain, so let that storm come on up here.
Gotcha.
Well,
We're in a drought.
Put a
well,
pipeline
I'm
in.
sure the people there will be glad to give you some of their rain because they are feeling it down there.
Yes. You guys need to follow, I think it's Dr. B something 10, I think it is. She's a pediatrician, ER physician. She's in Florida.
Hmm.
She does talks about kids and stuff like that, about the disease, what she sees in the ER and everything.
Hmm.
She's a good one to watch because I watch her quite a bit.
I'll check her out.
But yeah, but the Columbus, Ohio, they have stopped selling all menthol or flavored tobacco.
Yeah, that's a federal law now. Yep.
Yep, but we're still selling everything.
Oh,
Yeah,
well, that's interesting. The federal government has restricted all sales of menthol cigarettes.
Yeah, they probably until they get it off the shelves, right?
Yeah, I guess.
No.
I thought they were supposed to take
we
it.
We had products come from other stores from the Columbus area.
Huh.
Really?
Interesting.
Yes. Yeah, I didn't know it was a federal law.
Yeah.
Since I moved here, I have not watched no news, nothing.
You're a better person.
You are. I know you're less stressed just for that reason right there.
Yes, yes. And are you guys talking about who you're going to vote for? I don't think I'm going to vote for none of the presidents. Neither one of them this year.
Well, I personally, before I don't vote for a president, I will vote for both of them. I know the end result's going to be nothing, but at
Uh-huh.
least I voted.
Yeah. And I've got to get registered to vote here. Got my driver's license and everything.
Well, you better hurry up because
Yeah.
I think there's a window of
Different
time.
states have like 30 days and stuff
Yeah.
like that. You're really close.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Either
up in
way.
Ohio
I
now.
know. I wish I was back in North Carolina to vote.
Yeah.
To try to find people here. I'm not, I've been doing some research. I'm like, oh my.
Yeah. Well,
So you can't believe half the stuff on the website.
yeah.
Yeah. I agree with
did
that.
the DMV, when you got your driver's license, did they not? I don't know. Maybe they don't have it there. In North Carolina, you can register to vote when you get your
They
license.
did, but you register, but they don't ask what party you want to be affiliated.
Well, then you're not registered.
That's true. Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
so I have to go
Board of Elections.
board elections and everything.
All right, we're gonna get on down there because you've only got days
I
now.
will.
Yes.
All right, and
All
I
right.
got to call North Jacksonville to cancel my stuff so nobody can't vote on me.
Yeah. Go ahead and cancel that.
Yeah.
Call over there and ask for
All right,
Jason
you
Dedman.
say-
He'll take care of you.
Thanks, Phil. Good.
Me
Have a
too.
great day.
Thank you. You too.
Bye-bye.
That's interesting that they in one day they changed the gas prices 3
I've
times.
seen that happen.
I just always wonder how they need to do it. I just
It's
felt like there was a
because
guy
some-
in the store that goes, let's just lower our prices. But
Now, and at one time they did that, and
Mhm.
one time you'd see the guy out there with the big long pole, taking one sign down,
Mhm.
put one number down, putting another one up. You remember that?
yes, I do
They were
remember
not
that.
electronic.
Yes,
They
they
were
weren't
just
electronic. Yeah.
Things you put up there, and they, the poor guy back in the gas days when they were going up and down all the time, he was working it.
Mhm.
That poor guy, his arms had to get very tired because they
Oh.
would go up and down. Well, they would go up. It never went down that I can recall those days. But it's wild. I had a man a couple of brothers here who ran a gas station way back in the day, and
Mhm.
they told me that the price margin for what they bought gas for,
Mhm.
if they bought it for 26.9 cents a gallon,
Oh, yeah.
they could charge 29.9 cents a gallon and make a profit. 3 cents is what they operated on.
And look at what,
But
It's-
today
yeah.
they vary
Yeah.
so much in price from one
Mhm.
station to another. That
Oh, yeah.
3 cent margin ain't
No.
true
mhm.
today. I will tell you.
Well, did you know that here in Onslow County, I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm going to. Once a month at all the Circle K's, they lower the gas prices one day to some ridiculously low price.
One day.
They announce it. I don't know. My daughter says, and I knew this because we were coming back from somewhere, a conference or something, and I was like, why are all these cars lined up at the Circle K as we came into Onslow County?
And you
And I
didn't make a note
I
of
did.
it?
Well, she explained it to me.
You didn't make a note of what day it was?
No, but she'll know because
Is it the same day each week?
I don't know. I'll find out. My
Okay.
daughter would know. I will get back to you on that. But then I finally went and got gas that day when she started explaining. I'm like, I'm going to the next Circle K I see, and I
Okay.
sure
Did you
did.
have to be a member of their little
No.
club? Or
Pull in and pay.
oh, wow.
Yeah, I'll let you know what day it is.
Maybe we got somebody on the line
Yeah.
who's going to tell me that. Good morning. Who's this?
Hey, it's Charlie.
Hey,
Hey,
Charlie.
Charlie. What do you know about that?
You know, I told you Friday is free, Charlie. Nothing political, nothing negative, just life observations. When it comes to humanity, with people that we meet, you meet, it's kind of an odd question to ask. So I'm not sure what my question is. What are your thoughts on humans?
Humans?
Like, what do you mean? What are you asking?
I'm not sure. Do you trust most humans that you meet? Are you friends with most humans you meet? Would you trust most humans around your children?
No, and
I,
no.
no, I trust some humans.
I will deal with everybody that I meet,
Me too.
and until they prove me, unless I'm proven that they're okay, generally it's when I find out they're not okay. At the minute that I find out they are okay, or I determine in my own mind by being around them enough that you're a good guy, I'm fine with that. But I'm not going to assume that you're a great person, that I'm going to turn I don't have any infant children or grandchildren now, but if I did, I wouldn't turn my dog over to just anybody off the street, would you?
So you don't know me. Let's say that I'm not even sure where you guys live. I'm just a random idiot calling your show. But let's say I enter your neck of the woods, and I live next door to you, and I introduce myself and I say, hey, I'm Charlie. Hey, nice to meet you. I work in sales, blah, 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 blah. From what you know me thus far, would you trust me?
Of course not. I trust you for what you say that you are, but not enough to give you my dog to go wherever with, or to babysit my dog. Why would I?
So you're also saying that I shouldn't trust you as well, correct?
Absolutely.
Hmm. Can I ask you a question?
You already have, but go ahead, ask another one. It is Friday.
Okay, yeah, that's right. No, I'm not gonna do anything obnoxious. I'm gonna save obnoxious from Monday to Thursday. Okay.
Okay, got it.
So on your or both hands, how many people do you implicitly trust with your whole life, with everything? If you gave them $1 billion, you know that they wouldn't screw you. If you hand your children over to them, you know that they wouldn't hurt them. If you hand your dog or cat or gerbil or goldfish over to them, you knew that they wouldn't harm them. How many people can you implicitly trust?
I'm counting right now. Okay.
I'm holding up 10 fingers.
Oh, dear Lord.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
No, these are all people in my inner circle.
Well, you got to understand the background that I came from too. That I had people that I had to trust, and they had to. Otherwise, neither one of us would be here.
Yeah.
I can give you 10 without
I got
blinking an
only
eye.
10. I'm only at 10.
I probably got more than that, but I know I can do
That's so
10.
bizarre. So you implicitly trust them with your life, where you know that they would never turn against you. They're 100%. They have your so-called back. You have no question on any level, that they would go against you.
Not
Correct.
not at all. None.
Wow, I've got one person, and I think if push came to shove, she might push me over the cliff.
Oh.
Well, do not name her as a beneficiary on your insurance plan.
Yeah.
Then
I just don't think you. Okay, let me ask you this: of the 10 people that you guys have established you trust implicitly, if I would have asked you that question a year ago, would you still say that you trust those 10 people?
Oh, absolutely,
implicitly?
yes.
Yes,
Most definitely. I've known these people for a long
Some of these
time.
people are my family. So yes, 100%.
Yeah, but family doesn't mean anything. Family are just as crazy.
They could be
That's true, but
vicious.
I've got some family that I despise with that, but these are people I trust. Absolutely. 2 of them are my kids. So yes.
Sometimes you better not
Well,
trust
yeah, I mean, I
kids.
guess
Some
your
kids.
kids-
My kids are amazing.
I mean, I guess you're kids,
Mhm.
but I just think, okay, let me ask you this. How many people outside of your biological line, those that you're not biologically related to,
Okay.
do you implicitly trust?
3.
How many?
No, 3.
3.
Mhm.
Hold on.
What about you, sir?
I'm counting.
He's
Give me a
counting.
minute.
Yeah, he's over here. He's got his fingers
I'm
over here
trying to
moving.
find.
and-
I'm trying to make sure that that are still alive. Some of them are not. I give you 5, 6 right now without hesitation,
Wow.
because I know the situations that we've
been.
been in. You understand? I know the situations that these other folks and I have been in.
Yeah. I understand why you would.
Yeah, you do.
Yes. He's he's
Okay,
accurate.
I'm going to ask one last question, then I'm going to go home.
Okay.
Actually, I am home.
You are home.
Okay, the last question is, go ahead. I'm sorry, sir.
I
Go
said
ahead.
you are home. Go to your other home.
I don't know. I kind of wish I was dead. But here's
No,
my
you
last
No,
don't.
question.
you don't.
If you're going to do that, we're going to talk to you a little
Yeah.
bit longer.
Okay, let me ask you this. It's a stupid question. It makes no sense. It's like, what is your point, Charlie? But if you were to pass away tomorrow, and let's say 2 weeks from now when you're buried, how many people would show up at your burial permanent placement to honor you and respect you and show their love to you?
I hope
Other than
none.
your kids.
Huh.
How many people?
I hope none.
Okay. My kids, so I'm minusing those out of my 10, not counting those 8.
First of all, I'm not going to be buried.
Oh,
So, I mean, that
Where are
part's,
you going to go?
I'm just going to go for a ride on my boat and just not come home.
set that thing on autopilot. Just keep driving. Okay.
Yeah, put it in autopilut. It's got 300 gallons of fuel on it.
Uh-huh.
You know, set it to sail, put it on a course
Uh-huh.
of 180 degrees from here,
Uh-huh.
out of New River Inlet. Put it on a course there and put it at about 3,200 RPMs.
Okay.
And then it's on autopilot. It's going to go until the fuel runs out, right? But no, when it gets down to 20 gallons of fuel, there will be a device that's triggered. It goes boom, and all those fumes in there. No problem. Situation resolved. What?
He's got it planned out. Okay.
Burial at sea.
They do it all the time.
Well, there's nothing quick coming into my brain to add to this conversation, so I'm just going to end it with that.
Well, I appreciate
so
that.
you're dealing with somebody that's been around probably a long time too long.
All right. You guys have a
Thank
good
you,
day.
Charlie. Bye. It's great questions.
Yeah.
How many people would you implicitly trust? That's a really good question.
10.
How many? I mean, I'm just trying to think how many people that I know of, and those that I'm thinking about, that could walk in here and I take my handgun out and I hand it to them without even unloading it, knowing
Same.
that the thing is fully loaded and ready
Same.
to go.
Yep.
How many do I know like that? I can give you a bunch.
I've only got 10.
Well, I can give you more than that,
Mhm,
but
mhm.
you know, because they got one too. You know,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
probably on them.
hmm
So what may it matter? It's like that. Fine. There are certain people that can get around the alarm. Not many. And I can also, and of course, when they do it.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
So
All the gadgets you have up here. Yeah.
we know who's coming and going, and we can also shut her down.
Yeah.
At any time.
Agreed.
Imagine getting inside here and then you couldn't get out. Ooh, wouldn't that be an awful
That would
thing?
be fun for some people. It'd be fun. Be a good game of cat and mouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got in here. Now, how are you going to get out? Suddenly the shutters come down.
That's what I want is those kind of
So
things.
do I.
Yeah.
They got
I'm going to
hurricane
get some. I
shutters.
know I've seen them. And
So have I.
they were showing them. I sent them to you. Didn't I send you the video when you press a button and they just come down?
Yeah.
I'm going to get those.
I've
I don't know why I
seen
need
them,
them, but I
One
want
of
them.
my former boss down
Mm-hmm.
in there, down in Curry Beach, when he moved down from the north, he
Mhm.
was scared to death of hurricanes, but he wanted to go to the beach.
hmm
So he had those things as part of his house.
Well, how much they
A
cost?
fortune at that time. And that's been in,
Well, maybe they're cheaper now as they got more popular.
I don't know, nothing comes down.
Well, sometimes they do because it's
Got a new
you got more
refrigerator coming
competition.
today.
Did you finally get one? Y'all don't understand. Rayford has had the biggest time trying to buy a new
Not
refrigerator.
me, my wife has.
Yeah, but she knew what she wanted.
Well, she did, but then
you
she
complained.
no. Well, she complained because she started looking at reviews.
I don't blame her for that either. Yeah,
When she started doing the reviews, it was like, uh-oh,
yeah.
and she hated it. We finally went to a local store. And
hmm
I'll talk about it one of these days because they treat
I know where
it's
you
a
went.
big store.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know where you
Went
went.
there and the guy said, "Yeah, let's go talk to our repair guru, the guy in charge."
See, that's
of
what
the
I
repair
should have done
division."
that when I bought my dishwasher.
And then he said, "Yeah, let me look up this thing real quick." He looked at all the reviews, their repair people's reviews.
Mhm.
He said, "Well, we've never been called out to what this particular one is the last one they had."
Then I would have been
by
like,
the way.
How much? Let's go.
That's
Yeah,
pretty much what we did.
yeah.
And then came close to buying a big old grill on the way out the door. Probably going to do that anyway, but if we've got any money
You
left,
need a new grill?
yeah,
No. Do you? I know you want a new grill. Do you actually need one?
yeah,
Okay. You
Yeah.
sure?
absolutely.
Okay. Just checking.
The only grill I've got's about that big around right now. It cook two small steaks.
What happened to
Sure
your
wish
other
I'd
grill?
use that. They rusted out.
Oh, geez.
Oh,
Okay.
let me tell you what. I could give you the brand one of these days. Do not ever even think about it.
I need you to tell me so
It
it makes. I
starts
got to go
out-
home and check
Starts
mine.
out with Oklahoma.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not made there, but it's what
Yeah.
it starts out with.
Then I know I don't have that brand.
Both of them rusted out, and they little parts rusted off. They said, "No, it can't be replaced. You got to buy the
Heck no. No.
sucker."
By the
Cost
time you
$600
I
to
was going
begin
to say,
with.
by the time you pay for the parts, you could just buy a new grill, probably cheaper. That's crazy. No.
Well, they're not even They're not replaceable parts. You had to get somebody to come weld the new stuff in.
Oh, that's way too much work. For a
Really?
grill. Yeah. No.
So
Mhm.
I had words for them.
I'm feeling that, and I
And
agree.
those two are waiting to be put on my trailer and go out to the dump and
Mhm.
the place that recycles because they're heavy.
Mhm.
I mean, they weigh a ton, and that'll get me some money back anyway.
Nice.
So that happening. But anyway, got the refrigerator be delivered today. The guys who are working on our house are wonderful people.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing a wonderful job.
Are they? When they putting your floor down?
They're doing it now.
Are they?
Most of it's done.
Okay. Well,
So-
when I put doggy in there, it still looked not done.
Well, you didn't get to the rest of it.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
All right. We will see you on Monday morning. Lee will be
Yes.
back if the,
Yep.
if the creeks don't rise and don't
If
wash
she's
her
not
car
stuck
away.
up there in Boone,
Oh,
she'll
my
be
Lord,
back.
my
Yeah.
Lord. She is. She's
Yeah.
going to be on the radio
Yeah.
from Boone
Yeah.
on Monday
hmm
or between there and here.
Yeah.
She might want to leave today to get back.
She said she's not.
Did she bring a boat?
No.
She should have brought a boat with her.
hmm
We will see you on Monday morning about 7 o'clock, live and local Real Talk, right here on Facebook and on YouTube.
Yep.
And just remember one thing, be safe. That's one thing. Two
Mhm.
things. We are awake and we ain't never going to be woke.
You love saying that.
I do because it fits so well. See you Monday. Have a great weekend.
Bye.